The buildings are broken up. This is more of a campus than a school. This is the only school in Jerusalem that is a campus. Most of the other schools are just buildings. I'll take you into the library before recess so that you can see. The English is over here, the Arabic is, and the Hebrew are behind there, and the Arabic is here. It's a gathering place. It's a really nice place. I like it. It's actually a really gorgeous library. This is the sports center.
What sports do they play?
Soccer. As you can see.
Do they play basketball?
Sports, the internet things, as long as they're doing it in a group and collaborating between them, then that's just beautiful.
So we're here with Irene Nashif and Yael Kanan, and I'd like to know how long each of you have been at this school, and what is it that you love the most about the school?
I've been in the school since kindergarten, and the one thing that I like the most is the chances that you get to meet other people and to do things that are different, because Arab schools don't get to do all the Jewish programs, and Jewish schools don't do the Arab programs, so it kind of takes both sides and puts them together so you can have a complete experience of studying.
Okay, I've been in the school since first grade. We're both in 11th now, and I think the thing I like the most about the school is exploring, because the interaction with different people and being able to meet different people than you, people who speak different languages, practice different religions or cultures, it makes you want to know where you came from. It makes you want to go back to your house or your home and talk to your family and understand your own identity.
Where is your family from originally?
My dad is originally from Romania, and my mom is from Haifa in the north, but we all live in Jerusalem for a while, so.
Where in Romania?
I don't know, actually, no.
Okay, and where is your family from?
It's from a village in the north. It's called Taibe. And my parents were born there, and my grandparents lived there, but my parents moved here when they got married for work and school, so I was born in Jerusalem.
When you think about this school and you think back over the years, is there a moment that surfaces more than others that is dear to you when you think about it?
Yeah, I think I have one.
Yeah.
We both are in the same class for 11 years, so it's practically like sisters. When I was joining the school, when I was in the end of kindergarten, we were both going to first grade, and we had this event of wrapping books for the beginning of the year, and I was wrapping my book with my mom, and then this girl with the glasses came to me and started speaking with me in Arabic, and I was like, what? I don't understand. I don't speak Arabic. And somehow we sat there together, and we were starting to wrap books and just, hang out together, and we didn't even speak the same language because she spoke really poor Hebrew. Not like her amazing Hebrew now, but like I didn't know a word in Arabic, and we both were just sitting there, just first graders, trying to find maybe a common ground, a common language to hang out together. I think that's the moment that I understand that it's not like, a school.
And do you have one?
A lot of moments in the school are really important, and you can really tell that the school is different by those moments. For example, all the Memorial Days that are in Israel, because there are many of them, and each one of those days has different meanings, because we're not one side here, we're two sides, and each side sees it differently. So we get to also see different side than your own side, and it's interesting, and we talk a lot about the situation and how we see things, and even though we don't agree a lot on many subjects, it's completely normal, and we...
Not necessarily Arabs and Jews,
Yes.
by the way. Sometimes it gets heated up, like the discussion is a lot more complicated than any other place.
It's deeper than just Arabs versus Jews. It's not like that. You know, there are so many other topics that we talk about, and yes, it starts in the fact of Arabs and Jews, but then it goes to other subjects, and then we feel free that we can talk about what we see. Even
anything you
yeah,
can say anything.
we can say whatever
we
we
feel.
feel.
An example of a controversial subject that you would.
So the ceremonies she was talking about was in Israel we have Independence Day, and a day before that it's Memorial Day, which it's kind of like Veterans Day in the States. We just remember the Israeli soldiers who fell in different wars for Israel. And we also have Yom Nakba, and Nakba is Arabic for catastrophe. On that day, the Palestinians remember the families who were expelled from their houses. So in our school, we have two ceremonies. It's like one is the Memorial Day ceremony, and the other is kind of like classes and debate classes and discussions about what it means to be here today after, you know, living in houses that people were expelled from and living a whole country over, you know, stolen or occupied lands. It's, you know, each student can choose whether he or she wants to go to this ceremony or that ceremony, and it's totally fine. Like I can be Jewish and go to any ceremony I want to, and in the end we have this big ceremony, and we're all we're singing songs for peace, and we're showing flags, and you know, it's kind of like not forgetting where we came from and not forgetting our own history and each other's history, but also trying to create something that is different right now, because we know that what we're doing is special, and we're trying to, you know, spread it out and create even new community through the school.
That's great. That's great. I mean, it's certainly something I haven't seen elsewhere. Yeah. So what do you think? What do you think the chances are for this kind of thing spreading?
I think if we wouldn't believe in it, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah. The most important thing is having more schools like that, because it's hard to change somebody's mind or opinion or perspective for when they're older, after they've seen and lived a lot of things. But when you start it at school in the first grade, when you're still growing and, you know, the mind of the person's not done deciding where it lies, so they don't tell them you have to believe in peace. They tell them you have to have your own opinion and you have to accept other opinions. And it just helps you see things differently. It's not necessarily Arabs or just, it can help you see things in all kinds of situations, and it helps the person have a better way of looking at life. And then people won't be so superstitious, and they won't be so racist and, you know, discriminating. They would look at another person as a human being, not as the enemy or as a person who hates me and I hate him.
I think some of the words who we all learn since we're, you know, kindergarteners or first graders are changed and listen and respect, because we don't come here to live in a bubble and to believe that it's all hippie and fun and rainbows and butterflies, because it's not, because we know what it means to live in this kind of country, and we realize how important our schools are in order to bring the change. But we're not trying to wrap it all and to say, but here we're all friends. Like, yeah, we're friends, but, you know, friends don't always agree, and it's totally fine. You just need to listen and to respect the other side, and it's all right.
What about when you don't?
When we don't agree?
It's okay. It's normal. I mean, it's completely
okay. What about when you
okay.
don't respect? What about when somebody just lets go and something
happens? It doesn't happen a lot, because we already, we've been taught to listen to others even if we don't agree with them.
Because most of us have been here since, you know, elementary school, so we're raised up this way.
Mm-hmm.
But even if things sometimes get really emotional and people kind of just want to say what they think and they don't care, and other people may get hurt, I mean, we try to look at it in a way that try to put yourself in the other person's shoes and to see how he sees it, because sometimes you really don't understand the pain that they're feeling unless you're really in their place. And if you can't put yourself in their place, you just have to give them time, or give yourself time to understand.
I think sometimes even the person who gets hurt about not being listened to or not being able to explore their feelings and express their feelings or thoughts, it's also by realizing that we all come from different backgrounds and different homes, different education even, because even though that our families are all open-minded and they're all into this ideal, it's, we come from different families, and some of us were taught just to, not say anything and just to listen and just to accept everything and be quiet. And some of us were taught to answer and to always have this reaction. But it's not about, fighting, and it's about arguing sometimes and having different discussions, but we don't blame each other for the adults' mistakes. Like, we know that when we're gonna grow up, we don't want to raise our kids in this kind of society or reality.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've been talking about general.
Yeah.
What about specifically in your own experience? Have you been in a situation in a classroom or in a meeting or something where something has not gone according to the philosophy in the school?
Yeah. About 3 years ago, when it was the war in Gaza, it was during the school year, and then the day it happened, we were all coming to school, and we were all, still hearing the news, and we were all very affected by what happened. So we went to our class, and we discussed it, and we spoke about it, and every person said what they thought. And when you're inside the pain at the same moment, sometimes it's hard for you to see the other side, because it didn't happen a week ago, it didn't happen 5 years ago, it happened today. It's still going on.
It's loaded and emotional.
Yes.
Sometimes.
It's happening right now, and you just sometimes it's hard for you to open your mind for other things when you're so closed on things you see on the television and online. I remember I was seeing in the news like children and people without a leg, and that's the only thing I saw. But when another person in the class started talking about people in the villages around Gaza that were shot by the rockets, at that moment it was hard for me to see their pain. I was only focused on the images that I saw in my mind. And now when I look at it, yes, I do understand both sides, and I can see both the sides of pain. And now I see it. Then it's not so easy.
So that day when you were in the middle of the pain, of course. So what happened when you spoke out? What did you say, and how did people react?
What I said, when I was speaking about what I thought and what I felt, I didn't say anything about the villages around Gaza, and I didn't relate to them. And I remember one girl from the class saying, "And what about them?" And I remember I thought, what is she talking about? What? Doesn't she see what's happening? It's completely different. And I didn't even answer, because I didn't think there was any importance at the time.
Your parents chose to put you in this school, and so they are obviously in agreement with the curriculum and supportive of it. But in your own communities, have you had difficulty with people who disagree with your being here?
When we were in 3rd grade, she came to my house, and she slept over. And the next day, when she went home, me and my family went to my grandparents' house in the north, and we were sitting at night. I was telling my cousin, yesterday my friend Dale came to my house and we played, and she was like, "Wait, she's Jewish, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "You let her sleep at your house? She didn't kill you? She didn't hurt you?" And I didn't understand why she was so scared or thinking that she may hurt me. I tell her, "She won't hurt me, she's my friend. Why would she hurt me?" And she's like, "She's Jewish." And I was like, "So what?"
Yeah, sometimes, even for our families chose to send us to the school, but we're choosing to stay here every single day because, it's the only high school in Israel that is integrated. We get a lot of bad criticism, not only from our relatives, but also from our friends. And
is there an example that you can think of that's a kind of parallel story?
I know that I go to a youth movement. It's like a Zionist, left-wing, and socialist movement, and one night we had this, party, and people came, and other people not from the movement came, and when people, interact, they ask you where you come from and what school do you go to, and I go like hand in hand, and they ask me, what's that? Did you just made it up? Like, what is that? Because it's a really new school and not a lot of people know about it. So every time people ask me, I need to explain what is it, and it's Arabs and Jews and blah blah blah, and then they go like, what? So you like know Arab boys? Have you ever gone out with an Arab guy? And I was like, I don't know, yeah, when we're 5th graders and we all go to the movies together and we ask people out, that's just the way it goes in every school. And they're like, but they're Arab, like we can see you walking in the street with Arab guys, like that's just, in Hebrew we call it muktzeh. So it's like, that's crazy, how do you do that? And I was like, I don't know, they're my friends, I've grown up with them, it's just like going out with my siblings, and people don't realize that, because everything you know about the other side you keep talking about is from the media, and it's from what people wants to show you. Sometimes, you grow fear in you when you don't know something, and people sometimes just come to conversation or interaction with this fear and attacking, and it's just dangerous.
Yeah. They don't know like an Arab person, an Arab family. They know Arabs generally.
It's the same vice versa. I mean,
yeah.
People from the villages don't always interact with Jewish kids.
I mean, my cousin, she's a year younger than me, and she has never had like an interaction with a Jewish person unless she walked by somebody in the mall. There's no interaction. There are no youth movements that have Arabs and Jews together, and except for our school, it's the only way that you can actually be with a person who's not necessarily like you. And the only time that they get to see Jews are maybe in the university or when they grow up and they go to work. And after that, it's after 12 years of learning that Jews are the enemy. So what would be their opinion? They would never think that this Jewish guy may have the same interests like me.